Welcome to the Backrooms, Level 33. Survival Difficulty Class Level 2. It is unsafe, secure, and low entity count. Level 33 seems to be an empty shopping mall. Most of the stores are owned by major corporations from the real world, but usually have few products in stock or completely empty. Some stores are closed off by a gate that currently has no known way to open. More often than not, the food courts will be empty, but there's a chance that you can come across a food court or a store that has a full stock. When you first enter, there is a very low chance that you will encounter a hound, duller, or few death rats, or even a skin stealer. But as you go a dozen miles into the store, the entities as well as new ones will start appearing more often. The mall will progressively become more worn down as the further you travel. Water will begin appearing to flood the level. The lights will start flickering to the point where they simply won't turn on anymore. And the effect of your mental state will begin to get worse as the mall starts to mold. Plants grow over and metal starts to corrode. There are no known bases or outposts or communities in this level. The corrosion state. When you enter the top picture, the walls will be entirely clean as well as the tiled floor. The floor is completely dry, lights never flicker, hounds and dullers are very unlikely to encounter. 50 miles in, the corrosion state will activate, causing the walls to appear to have mold on them. A few tiles on the floor are missing, lights flicker every few hours, and you will begin feeling uneasy and feeling like you're constantly watched due to this effect. During the corrosion state, occasionally auditory hallucinations are possible. More and more death rats start to roam the wet floors, and smilers can now be spotted in darker areas. 100 miles in, parts of the wallpaper on the walls will appear to be ripped off. The mold can cover large areas of the wall. Grass starts growing from cracks in the dry parts of the floor. Water starts filling up to 2 inches above the floor. Lights begin flickering every few minutes, giving you a headache. You will feel paranoid even in a safe shelter. Auditory hallucinations will be common, while significantly less often than the aforementioned auditory hallucinations, visual hallucinations are possible, as well as the chance to spot an Ithaca? I don't know what that is, but 200 miles in, bottom picture. Any wallpaper on the walls will be ripped off entirely. Mold will appear covering the walls. Moss will hang from the ceiling. The water level will heighten to 2 feet above the floor. Lights will constantly flicker and can turn off and remain that way for several minutes. Effects on the human minds are equivalent to those in level 6, making you go insane faster depending on your personality, sometimes driving you to suicide. Auditory hallucinations and visual hallucinations will become commonplace, and there is very low chance that the hallucinations can physically hurt or injure you. Entities, especially Anithicas, death rats, and smilers will be very common this far in as well. 300 miles in, the walls appear to be ripped and damaged like a bomb explosion. There will be grasses growing from the floors up to 6 feet high. The water level will be 5 feet. The lights will be off, but will flicker on every few hours. The hallucinations will try to fool you into deadly traps like getting killed by entities. 500 miles in, the floor and lights will be non-extinct. non-existent, excuse me. But there will be fires from the ground. If you make it this far, be warned, as hallucinations will most likely try to physically injure you. Entities are always waiting for you to look up to the ceiling. 750 miles in. The walls appear to be pipes. If you look anywhere but forward, there are entities. A monster. Hallucinations are no longer hallucinations. Fires and water from the ground and ivy everywhere. Later, an unknown individual reportedly traveled 1,000 miles in, and it was described to have 23-foot weeds, have black voids for walls, with occasionally broken and corroded pipe. In the interior, that was all simple, indescribable chaos. He was later chased back by a group of about 200 extremely aggressive entities. He advised to go no further, but attempts are being made to go even further. The only known way to enter a shopping center or a mall in level 11 is to go upstairs at level 22. If you entered from level 11, go back to the doors you entered from. If you came from level 22, go back down the stairs behind you. You can also get to level 45 by entering an office entranceway. But anyways, guys, that is everything for level 33, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.